Hello, bonjour. I'm just sitting here preparing the next video. This is the video, or the part 2 of our visit to Jublains. In this second part, we visited the Amphitheatre, and we visited the sanctuary and also the thermal baths, all of which are obviously ruins, and I'll briefly talk about the church. It's a shorter video than last time, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. I'll give you some brief history as I did with the museum. There's far too much for me to read to you, and it's likely I'll get something wrong, so I'll put the links below. It's generally from Wikipedia, and obviously if you want to know more about it, then I would recommend clicking on that. So I will see you in the next video. Hope you enjoy this one, and see you next time. Okay, we're just approaching Jublains. On the left is the sanctuary that we'll take you to at the end of the video. Cemetery there on the left. Just approaching the centre of the town. There's a bar and restaurant on the right there. I mean, it's one of the bigger towns, believe it or not. You wouldn't think it, but it happens to have, quite a bit of social areas like bars and restaurants. And there's another restaurant on the corner on the right there. We've got the church in front of us, and next to the church is another restaurant. We're currently just looking for somewhere to park. There we go. So we've parked and we're walking back into the centre again. In front of us is the church and one of the restaurants. On the left there you can see the boulangerie, or bakery to some that may not know what a boulangerie is. Most towns, or I'd say nearly every town, will have a boulangerie because the French see it as their right to be able to get their baguette or their croissants every day, fresh every day. It happened to be shut this day, but normally, even though it's a Sunday, it would have been open till about 1 o'clock probably, because as I say, they have the right to be able to get their bread fresh every single day. And this is the church of Saint Gervais and Saint Protais. It's a Roman Catholic church. It was actually built on top of the old thermal baths that you're going to see in a minute. We didn't go into the church on this day because it wasn't part of our plans, but having seen pictures of it since, I wish we had now, because it looks really pretty. Following Duncan round to where the thermal baths are on the side of the church. There it is in front of you. Lots of information outside the church about the therme romaine, as it says. And thermal baths, Roman thermal baths as well. It's free to go in. That's one plan. There's obviously information you can buy a brochure, or they'll give you a brochure to carry around with you to show you where to go. And there's tours available as well. And if you can focus on that and zoom in, then I'll be really happy if you're able to read that. I can't give you all the information. And that's a view of the thermal baths from a bird's eye view. This is the walls of the antique thermal baths. They're inside now. You see lots of seating for the baths. And there's what would have been the baths, the ruins of. When we came to see this years ago, this glass wasn't there. You could just stand to the side and see what there was. And from what I remember, it was lit up then. But now they've put it behind glass, I think, to preserve it. And obviously they now light up each piece so that they can talk about each piece, but obviously it's all in French. There may be headphones available in different languages, so I'm not sure. But the baths were actually the Roman baths, and they were public baths from ancient Rome, and they were built to help maintain public health by allowing their people to wash themselves in good hygienic conditions. Now that's something we all take for granted now, isn't it? The plan of the building was discovered between 1957 and 1969, and archaeologist René Dial, I think his name is, exposed the remains under the church in Jublains in 1973 to 74. Again, Wikipedia's got a lot more to read about it. We're back outside again now, and this is what was, or may still run, I'm not sure, but a fountain. But it's not drinkable water, it's just saying on the side there. Now this is the little pathway down to the theatre. Some pretty flowers. I had to zoom in on the way down, of course. There we go. This is the start of the theatre. It was acquired by the Department of Mayenne in 1915 and then classified as a historical monument in 1917. And you can see they've got fantastic views from there. It was built around 81-83 AD during the reign of the Emperor Domitian. These dates came from a dedication that was found in the excavations. It was a dedication to the emperor himself, so that just dated it. The theatre was identified in the middle of the 19th century, and it's been excavated several times between 1843 and 1995. It was constructed out of stone and wood. Some of the theatre's decorative pieces can be found in the museum that we've already shown you. And the amphitheatre is still used today for cultural events, theatres and concerts. And again, tours are obviously available. And the tour, they usually get someone in costume giving the tour, which you'll probably see in this film. We're leaving the town now to go to the sanctuary. We've had to go from where we were parked, go down and turn around and come back again. So we're coming back to the bit now that we've just been to. So you can always find somewhere to have a drink and something to eat in this town. On the odd occasions it might be busy, it's very wise to reserve. To reserve a table. We're approaching the sanctuary again on the right. There it is. Lots of green space around it. It's a very peaceful place, hence the sanctuary. Here we're just panning around, taking in the view. I love this stone bench. If my daughter and granddaughters are watching this, they'll remember this from on their last holiday that they were over here. There we go, l'Architecture de Temple, or Temple. So they call it the temple in one document and they call it a sanctuary in another. This is giving you examples of the stones they used. I think it's quite possible they've laid that out because people were obviously tempted to climb and touch the stones and everything, and that's obviously not going to be very good for maintaining the structure as it is at the moment. There you go, you can see in front there's lots of fencing around it now. They've obviously put a roof over it to protect it from the weather, but they've put fencing around it. Not too many years ago it wasn't there. The fences didn't used to be there and we'd be able to see it, but obviously they've taken measures to keep people off of the stone and to stop children climbing it and everything, which is understandable. They've left some parts out so you do still get an idea, but the main part in the centre is fenced off now. The sanctuary itself was identified in 1835 and declared a historical monument in 1912. It's been excavated many times between 1835 and 1991. You see, it's very few people here, and this is very common. It's all that, you know, we're not in what you would call a touristy area, but there's always things to see. There's lots to see, but I think because we're not near the coast, like the beaches and everything, it's not as busy as some towns might be. So we're quite lucky that everything you go to, you're very rarely going to find a queue. Or you might find a queue of about 3 or 4 people, but generally you're not going to queue anywhere, and it's not going to break the bank to visit anywhere. I mean, this particular day, Duncan and I paid €4 each to see the museum, and obviously then the rest of it you get to see free. So it's well worth it, especially when you've got a beautiful day to do it on. Some of the decoration that was on the outside of the sanctuary is what can be seen in the museum that I pointed out, the painted pigeon. And there's lots of other birds apparently, but that was the one that they managed to save, the pigeon. And as with all the rest of it, a lot of this can be found on Wikipedia if you want to know any more. And I know a few of the viewers are very keen on archaeology and history, so I'm glad they've been able to get some enjoyment from these videos. Looks like part of one of the columns there from the temple laying down. Quite likely that some parts, the same as with the fortress, that parts of it have been reconstructed so that you at least get an idea of what it was like. At the outside walls, you can just tell by the mortar that they were reconstructed at some point, so you get an idea of the exterior, where the exterior wall was. I don't know if these columns are there where they were originally or whether they've been put there since. It may well say in some of the documents that I have to confess I haven't read those. They're probably in French, and I probably didn't read that. You can see the grass has been cut, so it's all very well maintained. There we go. That's that done. I hope you enjoyed the visit to the amphitheatre, the thermal baths, and the temple. See you next time.